Kristen has just joined. Hi, Kristen. All of the directors are present except for Doreen, who had indicated that she would probably be a few minutes late. So we're just giving the IT people a couple more seconds and then we can begin if you're ready.
Yep. Thank you.
Let's do. Okay, well set. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kristen Proud, Vice Chair of New York Creates, and I would like to welcome everyone to the meeting today. This meeting is being held via WebEx as authorized by Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022. A webcast is available for members of the public to listen to the meeting, and we welcome those who are listening to the meeting via webcast today. At this time, I'll do a roll call of the participants in today's meeting, beginning with the directors. Michael Abbott.
Present.
Anita Brown.
Present.
Christine Chung.
Present.
Heather Hage.
Present.
And Pat, you said Doreen Harris has not joined yet?
That's correct.
Okay. Hopefully she'll be able to join us for some of the committee reports. Dr. Mengling Shao.
Present.
Joan McDonald.
Present.
Ken Tompkins.
Present.
Thank you. I would also like to recognize the member representatives who are with us today. We have Keith Palmer representing the Research Foundation of the State University of New York and Michael Frame representing the SUNY Polytechnic Institute Foundation. I will now do a roll call of the officers who are participating with us in the meeting today, beginning with David Anderson.
Present.
Patricia Arciero Craig.
Present.
Paul Kelly.
Present.
Tim Taylor.
Present.
And Patricia Buckland.
Present.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to remind everyone to mute their phones when they are not speaking in order to minimize any background noise. And also, I would ask if you would please identify yourself when speaking and when making a motion. For voting, I will call out each director's name for his or her vote so that the record can accurately be recorded. I want to now ask if anyone has a conflict of interest with respect to any item on today's agenda. And if so, if you would please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. And then when we come to that item on the agenda, to please recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to that particular item. Does anyone have any potential conflict? Good. Hearing none. We will move to the first item on our agenda today, which is the approval of the minutes from the New York Creates meeting of June 29th. Could I have a motion to approve?
Christine Chung, so moved.
Thank you, Christine. A second, please.
Ken, second.
Thank you, Ken. Are there any corrections or any other comments on the minutes?
This is a minor thing in the paragraph A. It says commencing ion, and I think it was meant to say commencing on. So just a note, but we could clean that up.
So noted. Okay. With that one edit, I will ask each director for his or her vote, beginning with Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Anita Brown.
Aye.
Christine Chung.
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao.
Aye.
Joan McDonald.
Aye.
Ken Tompkins.
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, please. So the minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is our report from the Finance Committee. As chair of the Finance Committee, I will present to you the report, which contains a series of resolutions for your consideration, beginning with New York Creates Resolution number 17, FRMC Resolution number 183, and FSMC Resolution number 205. That's the approval of the annual plan for New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC. At this time, I would request a motion to consider and adopt New York Creates Resolution number 17, FRMC Resolution number 183, and FSMC Resolution number 205, approving the annual plan.
So moved, Ken.
Thank you. Ken, a second, please.
Second by Mengling Show.
Thank you, Mingling. The bylaws of New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC provide that the president, with the recommendation of the chief financial officer, shall present to the board of directors for its approval an annual plan which shall set forth all anticipated revenues and expenditures and include A, the approved expenditure levels, including approved changes, and estimated income and expenditures for the current fiscal year, B, the actual income and expenditures for the prior fiscal year, and C, the estimated income and expenditures for the forthcoming fiscal year. The 2022-23 annual plan was prepared and submitted to the Finance Committee upon the recommendation of management, the Chief Financial Officer, and finance staff. The Finance Committee adopted resolutions for New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC approving the 2022-23 annual plan and is recommending that the board approve these same actions today. So the requested action is to approve New York Creates Resolution number 17, FRMC Resolution number 183, and FSMC Resolution number 205. At this time, I'd like to pause and ask if there are any questions or comments from the board members. Hearing none,
Christine,
we'll move to the vote.
actually,
I'm
I
sorry,
would-
go ahead.
Sorry, this is Christine. I would just like to know that the resolutions were approved at the committee level following robust discussion and conversation with management and staff.
Absolutely. So noted, Christine. Thank you. And there were, as you know, and thank you for your participation in them along with other board members, several meetings at which these were discussed. So I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the staff for their work on these plans and their input and their responsiveness to our questions. Would anyone else like to comment, or does anyone have a question? This time, I will ask for a vote, beginning with Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Anita Brown?
Aye.
Christine Chung?
Aye.
Heather Hage?
Aye.
Doreen Harris? Not yet joined. Dr. Mengling Shao?
Aye.
Joan McDonald?
Aye.
Ken Tompkins?
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, please. So the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. The next item from the Finance Committee is the transfer of funds from Fuller Road Management Corporation to New York Creates and from New York Creates to Fort Schuyler Management Corporation. So the motion, I would ask for a motion to consider the adoption of FRMC Resolution number 184, authorizing the transfer of funds from FRMC to New York Creates and from New York Creates via Resolution number 18, authorizing the transfer of funds to FSMC. Is there a motion?
This is Joan, so moved.
Thank you, Joan. A second, please.
Anita Brown, I'll second.
Thank you, Anita. So pursuant to its certificate of incorporation, FRMC was formed and is to be operated exclusively for the purpose of holding title to real estate, collecting income therefrom, and transferring the entire amount thereof, less expenses, to its member, New York Creates. In FRMC's 2022-23 fiscal year, $14 million have been identified as not being required for its operations and which therefore is available for transfer to its sole member, New York Creates, in accordance with FRMC's purposes. FRMC seeks authorization to transfer up to $14 million to New York Creates. New York Creates Certificate of Incorporation provides that it was formed and is to be operated to facilitate the attraction and expansion of innovative research and development projects and facilities, and to develop strategic assets that support the growth of high technology companies throughout the state in cooperation with the State University of New York and the New York State Urban Development Corporation. In furtherance of these purposes, New York Creates accepted membership in FSMC as its sole member, New York Creates identified and anticipates receipt of up to $14 million from FRMC, its wholly owned subsidiary, during its 2022-23 fiscal year and seeks to transfer up to $6 million of those funds to FSMC for working capital during the 2022-23 fiscal year at such times and in such amounts as determined by the New York Creates Chief Financial Officer. The FRMC Finance Committee and the New York Creates Finance Committee approved the resolutions described in the memorandum provided to you in advance of this meeting and made the recommendation that the full board approve these same actions. So the requested action is approval of FRMC Resolution number 184 and New York Creates Resolution number 18. This time I'll pause and ask if any of my fellow directors have any questions or would like to make any comments regarding these two resolutions. And we'll move on to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Christine Chung,
Aye.
Heather Hage, Doreen Harris, Dr. Mengling Shao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
Ken Tompkins.
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, so the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. The next agenda item from the Finance Committee is a lease agreement with Exit US Inc. I would ask for a motion to consider and adopt this lease.
So
Mrs.
moved, Christine
Jones.
Chung.
Yep.
Thank you, Christine.
Sorry, Joan.
Second.
That's okay.
Joan, was that a second?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So this company currently leases 30,000 square feet of office space in the Zen building for a term that expires on August 31st, 2022. It seeks to extend the lease for 1 year through August 31, 2023 at a rental price of $25.78 per square foot, which includes operating expenses as well as utilities. The tenant will pay for parking. The company will also have the option to extend for 2 additional 12-month periods on such terms and conditions, including the rental amount applicable thereto, as requested by FRMC in its discretion. FRMC will also pay a tenant allowance of $23,202, which will be reimbursed through the rental payments. The Finance Committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum provided to the board members in advance of this meeting, and the Finance Committee recommends that the board approve these same actions. So to summarize, the requested action is the approval of a Resolution 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease agreement with Excite on the terms stated in the memo provided to the board in advance of the meeting. And 2, approving and authorizing the president, treasurer, and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease amendment with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing the same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and 2, to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intent of this resolution, including, without limitation, the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements. Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding this lease? Okay. We will ask each director for his or her vote, beginning with Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Christine Chung,
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Chao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
Ken Tompkins.
Aye.
I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. The ayes have it, and this motion is adopted. Item D on the agenda from the Finance Committee is a lease with the Research Foundation for the State University of New York. I would ask at this time for a motion to consider and adopt a lease with the Research Foundation.
So moved by Mengling Shao.
Thank you. A second, please.
Ken, second.
Thank you. The Research Foundation currently leases more than 32,000 square feet of office, storage, and lab space on the Albany Nanotech campus. It seeks to lease approximately 3,156 square feet of additional space, including 1,397 square feet of office space in NFE, 1,453 square feet of storage space in NFE, and 306 square feet of storage space in CSTEM for a term expiring on June 30th, 2027. Tenant will have an option to extend the lease for up to 2 additional 24-month terms. The tenant will pay $23 per square foot, which does include operating expenses and utilities. The Finance Committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum given to you in advance of this meeting and made the recommendation that the board approve these same actions. So the requested action this afternoon is approval of a resolution 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease with the Research Foundation for the State University of New York on the terms stated in the memo provided to the board in advance of the meeting. And 2, approving and authorizing the president and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intent of this resolution, including without limitation the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements. Are there any questions or comments regarding this lease agreement? Okay. Then we'll move on to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott,
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Christine Chung,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
Ken Tompkins.
Aye.
I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. The ayes have it, and this motion is adopted. The next item on the agenda is the lease agreement with TEL Technology Center America, LLC. At this time, I would ask for a motion to consider and adopt a lease agreement with TEL Technology Center. Is there a motion?
Anita Brown. Oh, sorry.
Who made the motion?
I'll move Anita Brown.
Thank you, Anita. A second?
Second, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. TEL currently leases more than 32,000 square feet of office and lab space on the Albany Nanotech campus. It is seeking to lease approximately 7,887 square feet of additional office space. The term for the new space will begin on September 1, 2022, and it will run concurrently with the term of the current lease, which extends to November 13, 2025, with an option to extend for 2 additional 24-month terms. The rent for the new space will be the same as that charged for the existing leased premises, which is presently $35.54 per square foot for office space. The rent includes operating expenses and utilities, and it will increase by 3% annually during the term of the lease and any renewal term that follows. The Finance Committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum given to you in advance of the board meeting, and it includes a recommendation from the Finance Committee that the board approve these same actions. So to summarize, the requested action is approval of a resolution 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease agreement with TEL on the terms stated in the memorandum provided to the board in advance of this meeting, and 2, approving and authorizing the president, treasurer, and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease amendment with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing the same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intent of this resolution, including, without limitation, the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements. Are there any questions or comments from board members regarding this lease amendment with TEL?
Yeah, Kristen, this is Ken. This is not exclusive to the TEL paperwork here, but and it may be just that I imagine that once upon a time these resolutions under the tenant description told us just a little bit more about who they were and what they do, or am I hallucinating again?
I would never suggest, Ken, that you were hallucinating.
Give it time. I just it would I looked them up if I can't remember who they were, obviously, or have to dig back. But I wonder if it just might be helpful to know a little bit more about what they do when we are considering these little things. Did we once do that, Pat? I can't recall.
Yes, sometimes we do have a little bit more of a description, and we'd be happy to do that going forward.
I mean, a sentence is, oh, no, verbosity is not the request. Just, kind of curious about, make sure I know who this company is. And then I can also go to their website or other such things. That's it.
Sure, we'll be happy to do that.
And this, just for everyone's information, is if I recall correctly, about TEL is a company that's been in business for, I think, about 50 years in various iterations. And it is, obviously, it's, as I understand the company, its scope of business is in providing high quality products in leading edge technology fields, obviously that focus, given its name, on electronics. And they have had a presence, correct, Pat, on the campus in Albany for many years.
Yes, that's correct.
That's good to know. Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome. Any other comments or questions? All right. Then moving to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott,
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Christine Chung,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
and Tompkins.
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. The ayes have it, and the motion to adopt this lease amendment is approved. At this time, I would ask if there's any new business from the board members to be considered. Okay, and hearing none, I would like to address the opportunity for public comment. Given the change in meeting logistics due to public health concerns, we did notify the public of the opportunity to send in comments via email prior to this meeting. We have not received any comments. Regarding the schedule of the next meeting, the date of the next meeting is to be determined. And once it is set, it will be posted, as it always is, on the website. I would ask if anyone on the board has any further business at this time. Hearing no further business, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. A second, please.
Joan, a second.
All in favor of adjournment? Aye.
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 This meeting is adjourned, and I thank you, as always, for your time and your input and insights. And I hope everyone has a good afternoon.
So long, everybody.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.